for the ride home in ENC.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
Okay, hello again, everybody, and welcome. Thanks for being with us here, back in the saddle on this Monday, and first time here in about a month for me. We are at Tiebreakers. It is Inside Pirate Athletics. Coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, we're going to have Dimitri Gardner and Coach Swartz in the house tonight. That'll be a little bit later on. Right now, PJ Show from Tiebreakers in Greenville. Looking forward to having some folks in here tonight. Busy weekend for East Carolina athletics, incredibly busy. And here to talk about the baseball side of that and a little more, Mike Mullis, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, buddy.
Joining us here.
How are you?
How are you,
in frame here? There we go. All right.
Come on over a little more.
Kind of. Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
It's uphill.
I'm running out of real estate. I'm gonna have to
we can do this.
There you go.
There we go. We cut off
Now
PJ.
you've lost me.
That's a good
Bye,
point.
PJ.
It was addition by subtraction.
It was.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
That's what
it
we like
was.
to hear.
There we go. Close enough.
Close enough, Mully. Good to see you, buddy.
Always. Hadn't had enough.
Yeah.
Never enough, PJ.
Never enough Mully.
Yep.
That's what I say. This is very exciting. We talked about this last week. I even brought this up on the telecast before the vast audience the other day. A kind of watch party, a watch along here. And since then, Pilk, it has got a title.
Actually, it had a title prior to that, PJ.
You didn't step in.
Well,
and,
it's
why wouldn't you?
because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's a watch party, a chance for Pirate fans to get together.
Inside the dugout with Mully.
I like it.
Name's on the marquee. This is he's very important. I'm excited about this. Tiebreakers tomorrow at 5 when ECU takes their annual trip to play the Campbell Camels, the Fighting Seas.
Coming off a 1-3 weekend like the Pirates. They won their first one with I'm drawing a blank.
Was it Cal
California
Poly?
team. Yeah, maybe it was Cal Poly.
I think it was Cal Poly.
Yep. So should be a fun game. Always is when those two teams get together, and looks like we're going to get to see Brett Antolik finally get the start.
Okay.
So we'll so that'll be fun to see him out there. I'm really looking forward to seeing that and see if the Pirates can build on the little bit of momentum they created in Game 3.
Well, Mully, when you know you're just a one-inning starter, because Cliff Godwin has come out and said that he will be an opener. He's expecting only one inning. Do you feel like you can pitch with maybe a little more reckless abandon? You don't have to worry as much. Man, if I throw too many pitches here, how does this affect the rest of my outing? You know, hey, you got the ball 3 outs. If it's 3 pitches, if it's 25 pitches, but you don't give up any runs, it's all the same because there's a 0 on the scoreboard.
I will tell you this. If you're worried about all that, you're probably worried about the wrong things. Just go out and pitch. Just go out and take the ball. They'll tell you when they're done. And, and all those things are subject to change. I feel confident if he goes out, gets out of the first in 6 pitches, you'll probably see him again.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, but it's theoretically it's a plan, and it's all, it's kind of like having a plan to fight Tyson. It's well and good till he hits in the mouth. So it's one of those deals where I think Antolik's just going to be fired up after over a year of not being on the mound just to get back out there and get those juices flowing again and face somebody not wearing purple and gold.
So, we'll get a little more into that. Mully, when you have our little watch outing here tomorrow, what can fans expect?
Yeah, first and foremost, we are super fired up. It'll be you and I doing this together. And Lynn Hartzell, the Region 10 Junior College Commissioner, will be joining us. So all these people that have questions about does junior college eligibility count towards your overall, all these questions that seem to, kind of be out there. The guy that can answer them will be here. Longtime baseball coach, guy that's got a wealth of knowledge in the game, knows a lot of people in the area. So first and foremost, we're super excited to have Lynn with us. But what you can expect is our plan is we're going to have a good time with it. We want it to be more watch party than watch along.
Yeah.
We want it to be interactive. We want the fans to feel free to ask questions, and we'll actually have an open microphone that will that I'll be manning the open mic. And if you're in the back corner of the room and you have a question, and question could be for somebody at the counter or at the desk, or it could be just about gameplay. So we'll have some trivia. We'll maybe do a little you be the coach. We'll have some giveaways and some auction items that all the funds generated from the auction items will go to support the for lack of a better way to put it, the NIL efforts for baseball over in East Carolina. Now it's got a different name. But anyway, I mean, again, just an all good time. It's going to be on Flow Sports, so a lot of people don't have that at home anyway. Right. So come out to Tiebreakers, 5 o'clock first pitch. We won't start till 5. This will not be a Patrick Johnson, Mike Mullis in the box kind of broadcast.
Right.
The intention of this is for it to be far more interactive and a fun environment to watch a game in. So we've got that one. We've got Carolina coming up on Sunday, and then we bounce back with the Coastal Series and plan to do all 3 games.
All 3 of the games
right
Coastal,
here from Tiebreakers.
And a lot of the Sunday road games, now this is subject to change.
That's right.
But a lot of those you're going to take off, or we're going to take off.
Yeah, right now we're not looking at rules or what we have to do. Bram's been great about granting the leeway to say, hey, if the fans want it, let's do it. And so, I mean, a lot of it's going to be driven by the response we get. And listen, tomorrow will be our first time doing it as well. So suggestions, ideas, we're welcome. We're welcome to them. We want to hear them. And this is about the fans and getting that jungle type atmosphere right here in Tiebreakers and just make it a good time.
So come on out tomorrow, 5 o'clock, and you can enjoy the game, enjoy a little interactive rap with Mully. You make the call, little what would you do in this situation?
That's right. So maybe some Pirate baseball trivia. And, I mean, we're going to take it kind of how it comes. They'll have tomorrow night's food special is $10 chicken cheesesteaks, and I think there's a beer special. I think it's Miller Lite maybe tomorrow night. So anyway, they'll have different things going on different nights. And, man, we just come out and, again, hang out with other Pirate fans and enjoy the game.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to being here with you tomorrow on that. I enjoyed our time together on Saturday, the doubleheader. And Pirates get the split on Saturday. They dropped 2 out of 3 to a pretty scrappy Xavier team. And this isn't a situation maybe where some of these other seasons have started a little slowly. I mean, this is a pretty decent opponent that has done a really good job of building itself up to be a kind of the third team in the mix in the Big East over the last few years.
Yeah.
Just on the whole, you were there all 3 games, saw all 27 innings. What is your takeaway?
I thought the pitching staff, for the most part, was pretty good. Obviously, not quite as sharp. I mean, you go right to the number one guy, Norby, and he would tell you that wasn't the outing he wanted to have, but he'll bounce back. I don't worry about him in the least. I think we had some real bright signs of life with GVK and obviously with the job Sean Jenkins did, Weber, as you just mentioned. So, a number of guys that certainly came out and gave you a lot. And that's just a handful. There were guys that situationally came in and did their jobs. You saw some freshmen step up and take the ball and do good things. So, I think all in all, it was something for them to build on. And I think an experiment early with the left side of the infield proved that maybe it wasn't the answer to the question. So the change was made. And when Parham took over there, he did a nice job. And so, I mean, you play the coulda, shoulda, woulda deal. If you look at game 1, if the Pirates could cut those 4 errors to 2 and they went back and changed the book and there were 2 errors that were ruled hits and they did change to errors, if a couple of those go the other way, the Pirates easily come away with a series win. And that's a game opponent, like you said. I mean, that crowd's battle tested and came in here and quite frankly did what the Pirates needed to do. And they hit the baseball and took advantage of their opportunities when they were given them.
Yeah, Colby Weber was really outstanding, and it's one start, long season to go. But I think with a lot of this, Mully, you could see where there is a really bright future, and the same thing for Van Kemp as well.
I think with Colby Weber, what you saw there is, he had the big fastball early. Velo kind of ticked off a little bit.
He was jacked.
No question.
Yeah.
The heart rate was running, but he was still 92, 93 late in his outing. Get guys out, stay down in the zone with the fastball, which is a big key for him. Secondary stuff's just to continue to develop. But sometimes when you're amped up like that, it's hard to have the feel for a breaking ball. It's hard to have the feel for, for the splitty, for different pitches. So I think all in all, man, he gave him a great outing. And again, I don't think there's enough positive that can be said for the effort that GVK gave. I mean, he was really, really good. And he looked like that number 2 starter. Had, some tough luck behind him. I mean, Ryan Towers, I'm not I'm certainly not writing him off. He just ran into a few barrels.
I think Towers, again, hadn't been on the mound in over a year. And so I think there maybe
let's grant him a little grace.
Yeah, I think, and same thing tomorrow with Antolik.
That's right.
I think you've got to.
Yeah, if he didn't go out there and throw
temper your expectations.
That's right. If he didn't go out and throw 9 pitches and strike out the side, don't be surprised. Right. Yeah. Give him a chance to get his legs back underneath him as well.
The great Mike Mullis here with us. The other thing, a couple other guys I wanted to get your comments on. Impressed with Luke Payne. Thought. There's a guy that can maybe be a piece for you.
Absolutely.
And then Gavin Marley.
Gavin Marley,
really good.
Again, not a. When you look at the radar gun, 90, 91. But, man, that thing's got some ride and spins, got a lot of arm side action. And, man, he was really, really good in his outing. And, here's the other one that I think bears maybe tempering is Chacon. Okay. Yeah. A tough situation, believe it or not, to come into a game with a big lead. Okay.
Well, and what's interesting there is he came in because of an injury. So it's almost like
it was an awkward time to enter a game.
Yeah.
And
he went through a lengthy warm-up.
That's correct. And he comes into the game, and it's one of those situations where, as a senior, as a veteran guy, you know that the last thing that your team needs to see you do is give free passes, walk a guy, whatever. And he found himself behind in counts. He pitched his way into hitters' counts and got back in the zone. Well, when he got back in the zone, they made him pay for it. But solo home runs very, very rarely beat you. And I know he had a couple of big knocks there, but it's one of those deals where you have to look at the circumstances, and then you have to consider the pitches that they decided to throw as a staff. So I don't think that was all bad. I think it was one of those deals where, you know what, I'm not going to come in here and wall people, and if they hit it out of the park, they hit it out of the park. We got plenty of, I got plenty of run support. I got a good cushion. It tickled. We thought there a time or two where we might find a run rule situation there in that game. It was kind of flirting with it. So I think I don't think Chacon's outing was all bad. Yeah, he gave up the 2 big ones, but other than that, it's definitely something to build on, and I look forward to watching him pitch in a tighter game when I don't say when it matters, but when there's more on the line in those innings.
Got Mike Mullis here with us, Patrick Johnson show from Tiebreakers today. Mully, let's go back to Sean Jenkins, a year older. He's still only 18, but he looked more filled out. And for 2 innings, he was outstanding.
Yeah, no, he's grown up. And the stuff, again, man, it's not the fastball. The fastball velocity has been there. It ticked down a little bit last year, but he kind of found it late. But the secondary stuff is just so much better that he can pitch off that fastball. So, I think there's a lot to look forward to with that staff. And, as we look at the position players and some of the I don't want to go so far as say key injuries, but guys that are banged up a little bit, when you look at maybe being able to get Boucher back in the lineup from
it could be a while.
Before we see him. We're probably looking out towards that Coastal Series at the earliest, and that might be optimistic. Sure. But when you when you look at his presence as a bat off the bench, and I know folks are saying, "Hey, we saw him last year." Listen, I promise you, he had a great fall, a great early spring. A guy that I've been really excited about seeing, but. You have him out of the lineup. You have Lashley, the shortstop, kind of a defense-first guy. He obviously is a little gimped up. Then, Peltier with the forearm. Yes, we saw him pitch run. Yes, we saw a pinch hit at bat, but not enough to be able to go full-time. So, you start looking at that, and then the moves that Coach Godwin decided to make late with, Parham going to short, and I think he's pretty committed to ride with that for the immediate future. Kobe Wallace, who – look, man, they asked Kobe to do a really tough thing. We want you to go from third to short. We know you're one of the best third basemen in the country defensively, but that's where we need the help today. That's a tall ask. And he went out, he gave it what he could. It looked to me like a footwork thing. Yeah. He just never could get quite comfortable with
the left side did not look comfortable the first 2
No,
games.
and Burris is more than game as far as getting the ball in the glove. And we saw that for the most part. He had the one that got under his glove, but it's a different look over there. Burris is a guy that's been asked to play lots of positions, and it's hard for us to remember he's only a sophomore. He's battle tested, he's played a lot, but he's still a young guy. So listen, I am still very, very excited about seeing where this season takes this club and kind of watching this club grow up. Again, you had 5 guys on the weekend, man, that hit 310, 320 or better. So when you start looking at that, the bright spots, Lenahan was really, really good. He was kind of as-billed. He came out and had a really good weekend, especially for a freshman. I thought Braden Bachman as a DH in the last game, another true freshman, just infused maybe a little more attitude and kind of brought a little grit. I also think in that last game we saw a little more CG ball. We saw the fake bunts. We saw the situational baseball. But moreover, we saw guys cut swings down. We saw much better two-strike approaches. And I just think it's going to – when you can melt what Coach Gotro's bringing in aggression and then you melt the opportunities that Cliff has historically taken advantage of, I think the offense is going to look totally different as these guys grow up.
Very sneaky 3-hit game for Walker Barron.
Yeah, especially coming on. I mean, the first game, man, I think if he were standing here, and I wouldn't hesitate to say to him, he was way out of his approach. He was swinging at balls uncharacteristically bad, out of the box. He just no real plate discipline. He comes back, gets the day off. They go to Kalinich for game 1. He comes back in game 3 and has a couple bleeders and then actually runs into one pretty good. So, I mean, Walker Barron has been, a defense-first kind of guy. I know I've said that twice now. We don't want a ton of those guys, right? We'd like to have a little thump in the lineup. Right. But if we look back to last year, early in the season, he gave the Pirates a high volume of really quality at bats. So we know what's in there, and he's just got to settle in. And quite frankly, we'd like to see him be, a little better behind the plate.
Well, I think last year too, Mully, the hitting numbers struggled at the end of the season. He had the hell beat of him back there. There was a lot of bad pitching, and he had to block a lot of baseballs, and he didn't have a number 2 catcher really behind him. I mean, I want to say you can maybe count on 3 or 4 hands the amount of innings he didn't catch last year, and now it looks like they've got a lot more faith in Michael Kalinich. What were your thoughts on his job there behind the dish in game 1 on Saturday?
I thought it was really good early. It kind of like he maybe mentally checked out a little bit towards the end and, kind of got crossed up in between on pitches, but for the most part, I think he did a decent enough job. But both those guys, I mean, they're going to have to get better. And again, this is week 1. They'll continue to improve. They're going to work at it. No question about that. I think overall, Michael Kalinich, persona-wise, the way he carried himself, was a little more mature than what we saw last year. So I do think there was a marked improvement and still room for growth.
Mike Mullis with us here. Campbell tomorrow. And again, inside the dugout with Mully here from Tiebreakers. Mike Mullis, myself, Linda Hartzell will be here. And hopefully you. We're expecting a nice crowd here tomorrow and a real interactive watch of the game on Flow.
On Flow
tomorrow.
TV, right.
So the screen behind us here where we normally are sitting for Inside Pirate Athletics is going to be the
featured screen
because of the Flow.
That's right.
Well, what is that again?
ESPN Bulgaria.
There you go.
That is on there.
I got a question for you. The Puerto Rico series that was played this weekend was on
Victory TV.
Victory TV. What is that? Is that like ESPN, like Uzbekistan or something? That's even more exotic than ESPN Bulgaria.
Victory TV, but it was on Victory Plus.
Yeah.
That may be like a soccer.
It may be. Supposedly it was free. Somebody told me it was free.
Puerto Rican baseball network kind of thing.
Did you guys see the injury in that series? Just rough. If you're robust at heart, it was I can't remember which teams are playing. Kid hits what would have been a go-ahead home run, and as he's rounding first base, he's jumping up and down, kind of celebrating.
Really? Yeah.
And
Seton Hall, maybe
it was Seton Hall, but a Joe Theismann-like injury.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So Campbell tomorrow, and then the UNC series this weekend.
Interesting, not to look past Campbell by any stretch, but I know lots of folks can't help themselves, and it's one that's going to be fun to talk about. Carolina didn't necessarily bang it around this past weekend either. I think scored 5 runs in 2 games and 6 in 1. Their pitching staff is what their deal is, right? So, but I will tell you, Indiana took them to the brink. Actually, had a beat in Game 3, and another highlight that's kind of painful to watch. 2 outs in the inning and ground ball to the second baseman from Indiana, bottom of the 9th, and he just yips it. He goes full Steve Sachs and just yips it. It was very, very hard to watch and feel bad for the young man. But Indiana played him tight. And look, man, I'm looking forward to a good series. And again, not looking past tomorrow night or Wednesday night with NIU coming in.
Yeah,
but it's hard when that Carolina series is out there. As fans, we can't help but go, man, that's going to be a lot of fun. And I think I read something today that Friday night is sold out.
Yeah.
So that'll be a great crowd at Clark LeClaire. But again, got to get through 2 more. Hopefully, the Pirates can manage a win at Campbell and then beat NIU at home.
And then the Saturday game will be in Durham at the Bulls Park.
That's right.
And then Sunday at the Bosch. So
Sunday at the Bosch. So we'll be right here. I think it's 1 o'clock first pitch. It's a little earlier, but we'll be right here for Sunday's game. I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. We were fortunate enough in that game to have Brian Dilday riding along with us. He's not going to be able to make it to the game. So anybody that knows Brian knows he will bring certainly a level of volume.
Yeah.
And definitely a lot of excitement to what we're doing that day. So really looking forward to having that and all the other Jungle folks that can't make it to Bowie's Creek or to the Bosch. To the Bosch at Chapel Hill. Look forward to having them ride along with us.
I forgot all about the NIU game on Wednesday because I've got basketball that night, so that's kind of what my focus is on. But what are they? Anything on them? That you can give
I'll be honest with you. I'm not on the slate for that game.
Sure.
So I'm looking forward to consuming that game like every other fan that's listening to us right now. I'm just going to kind of take that one in and watch it, and but there'll be some consideration in the management of the pitching staff tomorrow night because I got to turn around and go on Wednesday night. Right. So anyway, I don't know. As a matter of fact, I know nothing about that team, which is kind of rare for me. Normally I'm locked in on them, but looking forward to the next couple of days. And man, super fired up that the baseball season is officially underway.
NIU in action right now against A&T. They have split so far. Yesterday's game rained out to today.
Gotcha.
I went on their website. It started at 3, so I'd have to find something else to pull up the what's going on. So
that's probably a flow.
That is. It's an ESPN Bulgaria game. Stat broadcast. Come on, baby. You can do it. Trying to hold it off till we get to a break here.
Still early, too early to kind of tell, Mully, because of just all the volatility and the portal and rosters that have been totally remade. But is there anything that caught your eye over the weekend, just in general, college baseball that stood out?
You had 5 top 25s lose. So, I mean, that's just one of those things.
UAB knocked off Florida.
UAB knocking off Florida. I did watch UNC Charlotte play. They had a absolute dogfight with San Diego, and San Diego came into their place. And I know they beat them handily the game I watched on Saturday, which I'm not sure if that was game 3. I don't know what their schedule, if their schedule was adjusted. But I will tell you, San Diego took no prisoners in that game. So, I think we're still awful early, PJ. We talked about it some in the broadcast, and I don't think it can be emphasized enough. This conference, the American Athletic Conference, is comprised of 50% new people.
Right.
45 roughly of that is transfers. So, I mean, it's hard to tell what anybody has. I think UTSA, I remember who they played, but I remember seeing a score. I think UTSA just did UTSA things. And, so, I mean, listen, I think as it relates to East Carolina and probably for most of this conference, we'll know more coming out of maybe even the Coastal Series. Again, get a few guys back healthy, kind of let the pitching settle in. We'll know a little bit more about where we're at.
All right, tomorrow it is Inside the Dugout with Mully here at Tiebreakers, 5 o'clock. Tomorrow, special watch party that Mike Mullis and I will be hosting. Lynn Hartzell will be our special guest. We hope to have a lot of folks and a lot of great interactive things planned for that. Mully, great to see you. Thank you, man.
Always, buddy. Thank you, guys.
All right, the great Mike Mullis with us. When we come back, we'll do our top 5 at 5 here on the Patrick Johnson Show.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Show.
I missed you. We all missed you. Did you miss us?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back into the PJ Show here live from Tiebreakers, leading you into Inside Pirate Athletics as part of the ECU Sports Network. Patrick Johnson with Mike Schwartz and Dimitri Gardner, who was the player of the game for the Pirate basketball game this past week. Yeah, a season high for him. So it would be a Pirate career high for him. We're going to talk about more of that next as we get ready to start our 5 at 5.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
It's impossible.
Now some stories you may have heard.
You ready?
Or catch it for the first time. This is your 5 at 5 with the P-Man.
Lower the screen there. A lot of headroom.
There we go.
There you go. You've been doing this about 15 minutes?
Yeah, probably 29 minutes to be exact. Oh. Yeah, today's my first day on the job.
I told Bill, I said, bring me some legal pads. There's nothing legal about these pads.
Yeah, they're small. Sorry, I mean, you just flip through them faster.
All right. By the way, belated happy birthday to Dom Kasolki.
I forgot to text him. Did you forget to text him?
Well, I didn't know it was his birthday. No. But, I mean, that's no offense to Dom or anybody. But that's just not in my – Dom doesn't work for me per se. I work with Dom.
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody else when anybody else's birthday is.
Do you at least know your own mother's birthday?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
As long as you don't forget your mom's birthday.
Right.
Well, thank you both.
Let me see. My mom just texted me something. But Dom, how old are you now? 15?
23.
23.
Getting up there.
He's in his Jordan year. Jordan.
So happy birthday, Dom. I hope it was an exciting day for you over the weekend with all of that. All right, what do we got? Let's do number one. Here we go. Do we played number one yet?
Number one.
All righty, number one. It was announced on Friday that East Carolina Athletic Director John Gilbert has been given a 3-year contract extension. His contract was originally supposed to run up at the end of this calendar year and is extended through December of 2029. Also, Blake Harrell got a restructures the bad word deal. He will still
Extension.
be, I think it's still reworked. It pretty much you got a raise. There are more. The incentives are better, but also his base salary went up $200,000. Still 4 years remaining on Blake Harrell's deal.
Well, let's start with Blake. I mean, that is, I still think they're getting him at a bargain. I mean, if anybody else would have achieved what he would have achieved, what they're paying Blake as a base or whatever before the incentives, it would probably be double that.
Yeah.
So, and I think what Blake realizes is let's put more of that money into talent acquisition, into coaching, assistant coaches' salaries, and that's the mark of a good organizational leader.
Blake knows what it takes to win in this era of college football. And, unfortunately for him, who's a great man and deserves all the financial compensation we can give him, we are living in an era where more of it has to go to the players, therefore less of it has to go to the coaches. And Blake is a very open-minded, forward-thinking individual, and that open-minded and forward-thinkingness is the reason for the Pirates' success, both on and off the field. And, yeah, you're still getting them at a bargain, but, hey, this is also one of those things. It's now more expensive, so, when he goes out there and wins a conference championship next year and insert SEC school, here comes Colin, they've got to pay East Carolina more to buy him out.
So with the John Gilbert thing, there's a couple of schools of thought. I mean, it's been rattled off the achievements. I mean, a lot of money raised. I think the timing of that announcement last week was purposeful.
Yeah.
Especially in light of John being announced as the receiving the extension. So was already on for the end of this year, December. This essentially carries him out 3 years beyond that. So it is a true extension. For me, you look at some of the things that have been achieved. Certainly the Blake Harrell hire was a good hire. I don't think he panicked with the Mike Houston 2-10 year, but he reacted appropriately the next season.
He did.
And if he had fired Mike Houston after 2-10, which he couldn't have done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's frustrating and badly handled as that whole season was by Houston and the other members of the offensive staff then. I mean, the guy just been to back-to-back bowl games and it's won 8. I mean, you can't do that and run an operation fiscally responsibly or one that people will take seriously. But he made the tough decision when he needed to and wound up with Blake, and that so far has worked out very well. The fundraising money, statistically and in real cash, record-setting.
Yep.
And he has also we're not playing at Alabama next year if he's not the AD, I don't think. We probably don't have the quarterback in the portal.
I don't know if Emory Williams is the starting quarterback next year when we go to Alabama. When we go to, which wouldn't be Alabama, to your point, insert, Ball State here.
Right.
That would be.
And then, again, likely you're not getting a regional a couple years ago.
Yeah.
At home, it's the 16th national seed if you don't have John Gilbert as your AD.
Yeah.
And then, there was also the stuff last year with the regional down there and the times and all. I mean, just a lot of those things would not be happening without John Gilbert.
John's correct. John is great at making connections, and he has used those connections to really benefit, his university in every way that he can. He's a likable guy amongst his peers. He's a respected guy amongst his peers. And that when he speaks up in a room, and, Commissioner Pernetti has said that on this show, and as well as other people. When John Gilbert speaks, people listen. And, at the end of the day, too, when you take that, so that's an external thing. When you go in-house, you mentioned the hires have been good, and there's been some non-revenue sport hires that have been really good as well. You think of Gary Higgins, you think of our guy Shane Winkler as well in that. And then also the internal, the fundraising, right? And, obviously we got to give a lot of credit to Big Guy for that too. Big Guy does a lot of the fundraising, but who is the guy at the helm? The guy at the helm is John Gilbert, and, he is the one that is quarterbacking this whole thing, or quarterback is probably even a smaller term. It's probably he is managing this whole thing, and he's done a phenomenal job in this era. And look, we're probably the third biggest NIL in our conference right now, and the only two that are higher than us is Memphis, who's got FedEx money coming in, and Florida, who has a much different state constitution that is allowing them to receive loans from main campus. That I think John would have figured out how to do that had he legally been allowed to, but you can't do it.
So the, I don't know if we call it critical side or the realistic side of this, I think you've got to get this basketball situation fixed somehow. I think the commitment level has increased clearly, but now it needs to get a little better organized or what have you. I think John knows that. Now, what's going to happen, I don't know, but I think there's that side of it. As much as people enjoy ECU baseball, as much as you enjoy ECU baseball, as much as I enjoy calling ECU baseball, whenever there's a shift in a couple years, nobody's going to be saying, hey, how'd your baseball team do? How'd your soccer team do? There's not.
No, they're not. And
they're not. And so you have to have this big 20-win-a-season basketball program, but you at least have to be at a level with it where it can go into a conference and compete from a resources and commitment standpoint. And so we're getting there. There's a lot of frustration this year, so I think there's going to be a lot of questions in a few weeks that John Gilbert, look, he knows this.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, oh, he's not fiery. We've had people that are, I think, emotional that have been ADs here.
Yeah.
And made decisions based on emotion. And that doesn't work out. Here or anywhere.
No, it doesn't.
For that matter.
And here's the thing. John Gilbert, some people are saying, oh, he's not fiery enough, preaching all the time. Oh, we need to get into a bigger conference. Yes, he is. He's not doing it in this explosive, outcast way.
What do we hear all the time from any coach? Be where your feet are.
Yeah.
We need to be the best in this conference before we worry about.
Yeah.
You have to have an eye for that.
You do.
But he can't sit there and preach that that's the goal, because some of that is you just have to be in the best position from a resources standpoint, from a facility standpoint, from a commitment standpoint, from an organizational standpoint, that if your number is called, you can make the jump and not be out of place.
Exactly. And everything that we want him to do, he's doing it behind the scenes. But how is he doing it, Patrick? He's doing it the way you said it. He's selling our commitment to athletics. He's selling our resources that we have here. He's selling, this is the biggest FCS stadium in all of college football that's an actual on-campus, stadium. Obviously, or sorry, not FCS, Group of Five stadium. Now, obviously, some share with NFL.
With that.
Yeah, I know. But and highest attendance as well.
Right.
That's what he's selling. So he is doing it, but he's not just screaming, put me in a bigger conference, put me in a bigger conference. He's selling what it takes to be in a bigger conference, and it's everything you just mentioned. And as for the basketball thing, does it need to be fixed? Something? I mean, I'm not saying necessarily, but just overall. Yeah. But we've had a basketball program since the 64-65 season, and you know what's been said after every year? It needs to be fixed. It's not like we were going to the NCAA tournament every year and John Gilbert came in and then all of a sudden we're not.
Your big mistake was headed to the message boards. Don't do that.
No, I know. I was just making fun conversation with you as to what do these people think?
They don't.
Okay. Well.
Next.
Number 2.
You know what? Speaking of number 2, since we just
by the way, most of us learn to write in second grade.
Yeah.
And then we move on.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. All righty.
Bob Knightism.
That was. Well, you know what? Let's speak of Pirate basketball because it went pretty well this weekend. A big weekend at Rice. A big victory. As you mentioned, Dimitri Gardner will be on the show here inside Pirate Athletics. He had a Pirate high for his high in a Pirate uniform, 21 points. After the game, Coach Swartz talked about Dimitri, and he said that he picks up on things a lot quicker than plenty of other guys that he's coached.
Today, during the game, we were doing stuff in our zone, and he has picked it up so well. When he got here, he knew the back line. We played him on the back line right away. We didn't even have to teach it to him. It came from a good program that knew it. Well, we shifted him to the front line of the zone. So he had to pick that up. And in today's game, he came to me during a timeout, and he said, Coach, what are we doing with this? Because this is a little bit confusing. That's how calm he is communicating during the game. I told him, he looked at me, he goes, I got it. And from that point on, he did it perfectly.
You know, when you look at this, Patrick, 3 consecutive now road wins for the Pirates, first back-to-back wins in conference play here in the season. And look, I mean, maybe getting hot at the right time would be an overstatement, but right now, look, this team's back is against the wall, and they're not backing down.
Tulsa all of a sudden has lost 3 in a row. Now, they're in the upper part of the league. They won enough games early on that they're probably not going to – but FAU – who is somebody we kind of thought a couple weeks ago would be a contender, they are dropping like a stone in water.
6 in a row, baby. Yeah. They were 6-1. They are 6-7.
So you knock off Rice, you split them. You have an advantage in the head-to-head over FAU and North Texas. There's no return engagement. So you've got wins there on the road. Just you get into the top 10, however that looks. Now, Wichita State's 2 games out of first place. Wichita State's still playing for something.
Yeah.
They knocked off Tulsa. They're practically their second place right now.
They're playing for that. They're playing for that bye to the semifinals.
Yeah. And we've not talked about that hardly any because basketball's just not been in a position to talk. But I mean, this year the top 2 teams get a bye to the semifinals. Mm-hmm. They're going West Coast Conference. They're giving them the Zag and St. Mary's treatment.
They are
is what they're doing.
When are they going to start doing that in baseball?
I don't know. Cliff Godwin would be fine with it. So, but you just got to get in. That's the key. Get into the event, and that's what you need to do.
You get in the event. You call Jordan Riley into your office, and you say, Jordan, you're on a team that was a 12 seed in the American Conference, made the NCAA tournament. How the hell did you do it?
Yeah. Well, they made they made the finals.
Oh, that's right. They made the finals, right? They got beat. Yeah, I think it lost to UAB.
That's a good point, though. It's a good point. All right, next.
Number three.
We'll keep it consistent. We'll stay on the hard court. Go over to women's. They knocked off Temple to stay in second place in the conference. They've got a huge week this week, playing FAU tomorrow night, and then they will host first place Rice on Saturday. Big win. And, you know, I just want to say this about that game the other day. I don't think they played to their standard, and that is what proves Kim McNeil has built a really good basketball team. They did not play to their standards on the road, and it still was never officially in doubt. Yeah, Temple made a late push, but it still just kind of felt like Temple was chasing them the whole time. East Carolina was the better team, even though they did not play as well as they could have. Still, they played okay. Not saying they played bad, but it just proves you that this really is a damn good basketball team.
Tough to win on the road. Kennedy Fauntleroy, Player of the Week. Next.
4.
Number 4, we'll move to the Diamond Baseball. As we mentioned during our first segment, they go 1-2 on the weekend. We will hear from Cliff Godwin now. Cliff Godwin talked about the ECU pitching staff as a whole.
Yeah, that's something that we've been talking about. I mean, we did not help them out defensively for sure the first couple games, but Van Kempen was good. Thought Sean Jenkins was great last night. Joe Webb wasn't sharp, but he'll be great. Ryan Towers today, we knew we were going to piggyback him with Van Kempen, and Van Kempen gave us a chance to win. And, of course, after Towers' first inning, that was like the longest half inning, and he's coming back off the Tommy John brace thing, and I didn't feel good about it, but we needed him to go back out there, and I didn't think he was as sharp. Thought Marley was really good in Game 2 as well. So we just got to keep getting guys out there, and we've got to play better defense consistently, which Game 2 we did.
And by game 2, you mean second game of the doubleheader Saturday. They did play better defense. They changed some of those scoring plays from the second game of the series. They had a lot of errors on the left side of the infield. They made the adjustment. I think, look, Parham is not, if he can advance runners, if he could get on base somehow, I mean, he's not an automatic out, but he's not going to be an offensive juggernaut for you at the shortstop position. But if he can just find a way to be pesky, what he can do for you at short right now, though, is more valuable than what he's going to do for you at the plate.
Patrick, really, you got to go back to
because here's what I think. I think if you cut down on the errors in that, you might win the second game of the series.
Yeah, I think so. Even though the score looks, more lopsided, you just kind of put yourself behind the 8 ball. And, Patrick, you got to go back to Turner Brown to really have an all-around shortstop in this Pirate, team. I mean, Brainy was solid, but nothing special. In between there, I'm drawing a blank. Was it
Shaq?
Yeah, Shaq was okay, not great. So,
but it was more of a leadership.
Yeah. So, look, man, this. Look, you just got to be serviceable over there, and there's been a lot of great teams that are serviceable shortstops.
All right, Dom, give us the next number.
Number 5.
Oh, I like that little punch in the voice there. And we will talk about, we're going to stay on the diamond, go over to the ladies' side across the street. It was a 3-2 weekend for softball. They defeated Buffalo despite a late push from the Bulls in that contest. That was an early contest on Friday. They split with Maryland, and they split also with Notre Dame on the weekend and come from behind fashion when they did beat the Irish. Almost came back and beat them the first time, but ended up losing in extra innings. A 3-run bomb there in extras and just weren't able to manufacture runs there in the bottom of the 8th. But, look, Shane Winkler's team, he said it to us, and it's true. He's challenged his ladies with a tough schedule. And look, I think so far they've been up to the challenge. Yes, they maybe the record isn't quite what they want it to be, as they're sitting there at 5-5, I believe, now on the season. But overall, I mean, these ladies are playing at a high level. And, just like baseball, they're moving some pieces around, still trying to figure out who they are, still trying to figure out the identity of the team. But they've got those easier opponents coming in this weekend. So they welcome St. Bonaventure. They welcome Towson and James Madison. This is a situation where you can say, hey, you know what, let's see what we've done. They got Wilmington at home in the midweek. Make sure we put everything together and go out there and have a really good chance. I think they have a very good chance to go 6-0 this week.
Jenna Kroll named to the honor roll for the American. She's swinging a great bat, the sophomore. Julia Apostolakis.
Apostolakis. That's what I was told.
Apostolakis. Even though her numbers aren't leading you to believe that she's spectacular, she is a spectacular pitcher. I mean, she pitched all 9 innings in the loss to Notre Dame and actually got out of some jams in extra innings.
Yeah.
Like striking out Notre Dame hitters. So she came in, closed it out yesterday after a nice start. They played that game lickety-split, which was welcomed, I think, by everybody, myself included, calling it that it was quick. Just build after a couple of weekends and see what you could do with Wilmy World coming in.
Yep.
On Wednesday. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and wrap up this edition of the Patrick Johnson Show, set the schedule up for the week here on 94.3 The Game.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're number one in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
And now, the stunning conclusion.
Why is everyone screaming?
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, final few minutes here this afternoon from the Patrick Johnson Show, and we will be preempted tomorrow, Wednesday. I don't know what that is. It was just on the ground. And we'll be back Thursday. Jerry Palm, formerly of CBS Sports, now doing his own thing with his bracketology, will be with us. Going to get me the tennis coach?
Yeah, I need to. I don't even know who the tennis SID is.
Sitting right over there.
Oh, okay.
I think.
The man in charge. I think he is in charge of tennis.
Yeah.
I was possibly just going to send a group chat.
Can you get that done? Well, yeah, do that. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Whoever's in charge of tennis.
Yeah. Busy week for ECU Athletics. Some other things happened in sports. I guess the NBA All-Star game last night. They have PTI on up here, and they had to talk about that off the jump, which makes me so glad. As much as I love PTI, I wasn't on PTI today because I wouldn't have wanted to talk about anything with that. However, we could talk about
Daytona 500, baby.
I'm just going to present one thing to you, and I know the headline is Michael Jordan's team won.
Yeah.
But is that, I mean, the guy kind of sneaks in. He's never really a factor until the end. Is that what we want? And I know them's the breaks.
No, yeah. I know.
But it
Jeremy
just seems
Mayfield.
like it's not the kind of race. It's not what you think of when you think of NASCAR's signature event and racing that people like to watch.
Yeah, Jeremy Mayfield put that a bit of long rant on Facebook about the guy who winning only leading one lap, and what's supposed to be the Super Bowl in NASCAR, supposed to be the Great American Race. Well, obviously, Tyler's a great driver. He's a championship contender, but just to have somebody go in at the very last second and win it, I know it's
and again,
tough.
That's part of it.
It's part
that's
of it. But it's just so tough with the pack racing, man. I mean, that's what NASCAR's made for itself with this ginormous pack racing. Because at the end of the day,
they're driving tanks now.
Yeah, they're driving tanks. I mean, heck, you can wreck 2 or 3 times and still be. I mean, Byron was caught up in 2 wrecks and finished 12th.
Yeah,
and was practically caught up in that final wreck. So you could argue 3. And if he would have not spun out there towards the end, he probably would have finished top 5 despite being in 2 official wrecks. So I don't know, man. It's a great question, but it's so long to get into that. We have 48 seconds left in the show, and I just don't know if 48 seconds is quite the amount of time.
All right, back tomorrow. Back Thursday here on the show. Tomorrow, hope you'll join Mike Mullis and myself for Inside the Dugout with Mully here at Tiebreakers, as we'll have a watch-along party with ECU and Campbell here at Tiebreakers. Again, that's tomorrow at 5 with Mike Mullis and myself here, so we hope you'll come out. Come on out of here. Some seats filling up. They still have some available. We've got Inside Pirate Athletics coming your way at the top of the hour. Thanks to Mike Mullis. Thanks to Dom Kasolki. Thanks to you, Pilk. And we'll see everybody on Thursday.